right, let's do this NBA tip-off show here, powered by WagerTalk.com. Welcome back in. A 5-game slate here tonight. Couple of intriguing matchups. We're going to touch base on all the games here, see if we can come up with a best bet at the end for you. But, of course, we'll also take any questions that you guys may have on the slate of games here tonight. We're going to do it, of course, with two of the best. It's like putting a band back together here, as we've got the one, the only Ski Prophet back in the house, in the chair, as is RV Rob Vino with the right microphone this time, ready to roll. Gentlemen, welcome in. I want to start off with a game that I think is real interesting, because all the games I think started 8 o'clock Eastern time here tonight. 5 games on the slate, and we just learned, of course, yesterday, the Oklahoma City Thunder, no Chet Holmgren, at least for the next couple of months, as that poor skinny-ass bastard just broke his hip somehow from falling down. Not a shocker. He ought to wear one of those things, Vino. It says, "I've fallen and I can't get up," man. I thought they were supposed to put some weight on him. He ain't nothing. He is just, he's breaking bones left and right. But this puts this team at a disadvantage, because they were a little thin to begin with, Ski. Now, the Clippers, who are a little rested, they won't see Kawhi until the season starts on Christmas. We all know that. But it's a good spot for the Clippers, except I'm seeing 6.5 in the marketplace here. Are they not getting enough respect?
Well, I think it's a combination of the Clippers haven't looked good so far this season. They are off a couple of wins, though, or a few wins, so maybe they start to look better. But the Thunder being on that back-to-back, losing their big man down low, and really those two things for the Thunder is what has me looking towards the Clippers' way. The Thunder are number one as far as protecting the paint this season, and I just, I kind of have a hard time seeing that continue without the big men down there to help in that area. So I think the Clippers can take advantage there. I like Zubac maybe over his rebounds, or points and rebounds, double-double, something like that for Zubac. I think he should have success. And I think it is a little bit too many points for the Clippers team that's playing well the past few games. So Clippers plus or Zubac will be the way I would choose to play this game.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I like that. Look, I mean, Vino, the Holmgren now, they don't have Hartenstein yet. They don't have Jalen Williams. They don't have Kenrich Williams. All of those guys are injured. None of them have appeared in a game yet. So now all of a sudden, that front court's a little bit thin here on a second of a back-to-back. The only thing I saw, which makes me scratch my head, is that apparently the Clippers have not won a game at OKC since like 2020. It's been a hot minute since they've actually even won a game in this place. So I don't know if that continues. I do know the Thunder are 2-0 on the second of a back-to-back this year, but man, that's a big ask after that game against Golden State last night, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I tell you, Joe, they're going to have to switch their style of play, right? I mean, Oklahoma City was playing really, really good defense. You talked about not one, not two, but 3 centers not available. I mean, they are so small, it's ridiculous. And you look at what happened yesterday. After Chet Holmgren went down late first quarter, second and third quarters, Golden State rattled off 71 points. It's like a parade to the basket for Golden State in that game yesterday, and I don't see why the Clippers wouldn't do the same. Now, the Clippers like slow pace, but Oklahoma City is going to have to speed teams up. Now, their only asset that's left is their ability to run. You look at the Clippers side, they feel they can outrun the Clippers. The first game was totally different, right? 105-92 OKC. In that game, by the way, Holmgren had 14 rebounds, led the team. So I don't know where those 14 rebounds are going to get made up, but they're going to have to be dispersed amongst a bunch of guys. But I agree with this very, very, very slight push from 217.5 to 218, where the total is concerned. Because again, that game yesterday went 243, and I know the Clippers don't play Golden State's pace, but Oklahoma City is going to force pace on their home floor. You just cannot defend the Clippers with what they have on the floor in a half-court situation. You can't let them come down, be methodical, beat you up inside. So I think we're going to get pace here, Joe, and maybe Oklahoma City, has to change gears a little bit as to who they want to be. without any rim protection whatsoever. Surprisingly, the Clippers aren't they're not highly ranked as far as points in the paint are concerned, and second chance points, but that may change against this lineup here. Golden State had a bunch of both yesterday. I think over 218 is probably a legitimate way to go. I'm looking here now at 218 and a halves. So to get to 219, I don't think is that much of a problem, considering the way I project Oklahoma City to be able to have to play offensively and to what they can stop defensively.
Yeah, I agree with you, Vin. I saw the move a little bit up here too. I'm seeing 219s now showing up, and some money to the over. That defense has to take a hit, Vino, doesn't it? I mean, what else you got going on there? And say what you, at least the Clippers have been playing some defense this season as well. So going to be interesting to see how this OKC team adjusts. But 6.5 does feel like an awful lot of points here. I want to send a shout out to those of you guys joining us here. Danny Ramirez, Have Cash in the house. Big Daddy shooting up here, saying a big shout out to the Italian stallion, Mr. Vino. Yes, him and Skee ready to roll here tonight on this 5-game card. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe button. If you're joining us here for the first time, shout out to Jojo Rich, KD, Pipe Layer 716 over on TikTok, hanging out, as well as the Day Drinkers on Instagram. You know how much we love you guys. All right. We are periodically going to throw up on a screen here an opportunity for you guys to hop on board with our friends at the Gold Sheet, because you right now, today only, if you like basketball and you like knowledge and you like information, nobody's got better of it than the Gold Sheet. And you get their free basketball newsletter. Signing up right now, absolutely free, 7 days. You're getting it for free. I'll repeat, for free, by going to WT.buzz/7GSBB. That's WT.buzz/7GSBB. Gold Sheet Basketball. Go over there, get signed up. Get the newsletter for 7 days for free, and then you tell me if you are not better off and more profitable for it there over at the Gold Sheet. All right, Skee, the Brooklyn Nets taking on the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. Now, raise your hand if you're shocked that Zion is going to miss considerable time. And no, I don't see any hands going. Okay, so we don't have a whole lot of hands being raised right now, but Brooklyn coming off of back-to-back losses. But Skee, I mean, is there any... There's no shame in losing to Boston. They should have beat Cleveland. They lost to Cleveland. Now they've got a New Orleans team that plays zero defense. Can we trust Brooklyn on the road to get a win here?
You know, at this point, I would challenge people to start, let me know, what does New Orleans even do well? Or do they do anything good? Everybody's injured. They don't play any defense. They can't score. Yep. They're second worst rebounding team. I mean, it's nothing to like for this Pelicans team. The only thing there is to like tonight is that they're the more rested out of the two. But I'm not sure that that's enough. This is a Nets team that comes out hot every single game. I know they haven't lost the first half yet. I believe they're 10-0 ATS, and they've won straight up 8 out of those 10. And that's important because today they're a favorite. So with them being the less rested team, but still the better team, I think that would be the way to go. Get in and get out with the Nets. Outside of that, and worse, I might look at Claxton over his 9.5 rebounds. He's been getting more minutes lately. He's hit this in back-to-back games, and there will be a lot of opportunities for him tonight. So Nets first half or Claxton over 9.5 rebounds would be my recommendation.
I don't hate that at all here. I think chat room also thrown out Nets first half may not be a bad look either. Rob Vino, how about you when you look at this Nets and Pelicans team? I mean, the total has come down. It opened up 212.5. I'm seeing 210. So they don't trust a ton of offense. But to Skee's point, what the hell did the Pelicans got going for them here exactly? And why should we think they are capable of actually upending a team that is battling here? I mean, Schroeder himself, I think, should have no problem, maybe in the prop market as well. At least in the assist prop market, shouldn't have a problem here. So what do we do with this Nets team, and is it just the fate of New Orleans?
Well, I think, just about everything Skee said, I would have said as well. So let's just repeat real quick. And I think you said it. The Nets are 10-0 in the first half. They're laying
Woo!
half a point. They're 10-0 straight up. Doesn't matter if they're back to back, if they're back to back with travel. I know they're third and four nights, but it just doesn't matter with them. They've been really good first half. New Orleans is so slim in that starting unit that they can probably get off to a good start. It could carry over to the bench. I don't know that you have to really look any further than that, but if you want to, it's hard to make a case for New Orleans full game. It's hard to make a case for New Orleans team total unless you want to play under. I'm just not sure how much defensive energy the Nets will have late in the game with third and four nights, but it's possible that New Orleans team total could stay under. But again, I think the best look here on this show, how many years have we said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? If you're 10-0 against the spread and 8-2 straight up, and you're only laying half a point first half, I think you have to look that way mechanically. So probably be Brooklyn first half for me.
Yeah, amen. We're all big. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Believer is here, which is what makes this next game, Skee, a little bit interesting here. I mean, what else is Cleveland going to do? I mean, they just win games. That's it. They haven't lost a game, and yet here they are taking on the Chicago Bulls, right? Laying 8 on the road, 237.5 is what I am seeing here. I don't know if we're running to the window to lay this, but there's got to be maybe props we're probably looking at the very least in this game as well, no?
Well, I would only be looking towards the Cavaliers. I mean, we're not going to try and catch the falling knife, or I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but we're not stepping in front of the Cavaliers. I mean, they've covered 9 out of 11 games. They're 11-0. Until they give us a reason to bet against them, I don't think we should. As far as the total, I agree with it going up. I'm sure Rob will mention that the Bulls, how fast they play, number one in pace, and Cavaliers are right there as well, with also being the number one offensive rated team. So I think there's a lot of points to go around in this one. I agree with the market moving the total up.
It feels like Donovan Mitchell is a guy we're probably looking at his PRA. I think it was somewhere around 32.5. And Vino, I mean, when Skee's nailed it, right? The pace is out of control here for the Bulls. It is, I believe, the highest total game on the board tonight. Yeah, so it's the most, and it makes the most sense here. So I don't know. Is there a Mobley double-double tonight? Is there just a straight team total over? How do you approach the Cavs and the Bulls here?
Well, with the Bulls, number one tempo in the NBA, the way I've tried to approach them for the most part is to play overs, but this over is getting really, really high now, Joe. I don't think we haven't seen 240 yet this year. I know we like to keep track of 240 or better, but boy, we're pushing it at this point, and it's because Cleveland is scoring as well. I wish I had the quote, but it dates back to right before they played Golden State, and of all people, Donovan Mitchell talking about camaraderie and the cohesiveness amongst the group and how much the group likes each other for Cleveland heading into that Golden State game. Golden State was off of that win against Boston, and Cleveland was 9-0, and you would think maybe Golden State would be the team, mindset that they have that would want to take the 9-0 down. They got destroyed. And now we have more quotes from Donovan Mitchell, and I mean, he seems to be team spokesman for happiness here this year. Defensively, we're locked in. We got stops. We get rebounds. We box out. We don't miss opportunities. We did all the little things against Golden State. I think that's what you saw, just the effort, the whole effort, and that's what made this one special. I had said, I think I was talking with Skee that day, that you have to like teams that like each other in the NBA because they're few and far between. If you find a handful of teams that even like each other, you're doing pretty good. So this squad seems to all be on the same page. Kenny Atkinson, the new head coach, said it. It's hard to get in front of them, but it's also hard for me to get to over. I don't want to hold my breath. Josh Giddey props. I know Skee has been high on a little bit this year. I don't know. You might be able to look that way. I don't play a lot of props, so I won't recommend it. But perhaps the way Chicago plays defense And with the track meet style that they play, perhaps you could get a Cleveland team total up and over here. I think we're looking at 122.5. But
Mhm.
still, it's a little steep for me. So I just can't make a recommendation one way or the other. I could see these things happening, but I'm not willing to go to the window with them.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked it hasn't gone any higher, right? I mean, it opened up 7.5. It's kind of been hovering around 8 all day. So it does look like the market's even given a whole wait and see. But I mean, this just feels like a game at that pace. Give me Donovan Mitchell all the way here in a PRA opportunity to get it done tonight against this Bulls team. Skee, are you? A lot of head scratching when they ended up firing Bickerstaff last year here with this Cavs team. But you bring in Atkinson, they're running the table. I mean, it's way early, but you can't help but to be impressed. I mean, it's Celtics this, Celtics that in the East, but you foresee this continuing to be a good thing here for the Cavs moving forward?
I'm not gonna say that I trust it to continue in the playoffs, but it's good. It's a good sign to see it with the new coach.
Mm.
Because I wasn't a believer in what that unit showed me over the past couple years. So, I absolutely, you can't say anything bad about a team who's 11-0. But still have a lot to prove come June
Right.
or
But that's the whole
April.
thing.
They're not gonna play in June probably.
Right. No, they ain't playing the June. But, you might be able to cash a few tickets along the way there because at some point they're going to have to get through the Celtics. But you got to love what you're seeing. Guys that buy in, that's usually a good sign this early on in the season. Shout out once again to those of you joining us in the chat rooms. Nicholas Wrong on there. Ya Boy in the house on shorts. Robbie Reyes. Also, Eric Winters on TikTok, as well as Malo and Kevin Jordan over on Instagram doing the day drinking. We appreciate it, guys. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, or follow button and become part of this Wager Talk TV family here on the NBA Tip-Off Show. All right. We also got Brian H. says Cavaliers all night and also loves the first half in the Brooklyn Nets game that we were talking about earlier. All right, let's take another look at an interesting game here with the everyone's favorite Houston Rockets taking on the Washington Wizards in this game here tonight. And I am currently seeing 12.5. It looks like Houston laying 229. The total is actually being pushed up here, Skee. The Wizards appear to want to run. They have absolutely no problem running. But I'll say what, the kid Alex Sarr, the kid just seems to be swatting people left and right. He seems to be a blocking machine, which I don't know what his prop is for blocks tonight, but probably not a bad look. I think he's averaging 2.5 or 3 blocks a game right now so far. He's only 19 years old. What do you think of Houston? Should they be laying double digits though at home?
I understand why they are, but my cap on this game kind of changed. The injury report went from guys being doubtful, like Kyle Kuzma, to them being in, and then guys that were in, like Van Fleet, being ruled to out. So that can change a handicap. In general, the Wizards have been struggling to score, but they'll get a scoring boost with Kuzma back out there in the lineup. And I know they're 1-7 ATS in the first half, so I really wanted to try to fade them there, but it's a high number. And now you're missing a point guard for Houston, so I just couldn't get there. I think the best bet right now, with the information I have, is Sengun over 10.5 rebounds. Washington is the worst rebounding team in the NBA so far. He averages about 11. And I just think there's a lot of opportunities for him tonight. So I have a little bit more research to do. But after the changes in the lineups, I think that's the best bet.
That was it was a win last night, right, Skee? I believe they beat Detroit. Was it 101-99? Sengun, 27 points, 10 boards, 2 assists. I think he even got a block in there. So causing havoc there against Detroit. Now he gets Washington at home as well tonight. And Vino, what are you thinking here? This seems like the market is expecting points, and maybe some more points here. Are you convinced that that's the way to go? Is Washington going to control tempo, or do you think the Rockets' defense you're going to have to get everything from the Rockets here in this one?
Well, the Rockets defense, Joe, it is where it is statistically up in the rankings in the NBA.
Mm.
It's simply because their tempo is down, down, down this year. They're down to like 25th in pace. Certainly a philosophical change from what we saw last year. Houston no longer the running team. They're more about ball possession and rebounding and then playing defense. Washington does want to go. And I think that that can be infectious to teams when they know that they can score on you. In other words, when the Rockets look at the Wizards defense on the floor, they probably think, why not, run the break because we can score at will against these guys. I think the right play here, though, with Kyle Kuzma being in, is taking the Wizards team total over 107.5 in a game where, even if it doesn't make the full game over, Houston is on back-to-back nights. They did have to gut out a 101-99 win yesterday. Washington played absolutely miserable against Orlando yesterday. Gave up a lot of second chance points. But again, it's kind of what they do. They don't exert themselves on the defensive end, but they do on the offensive end. To me, 108 is not a big total to get to here. You're looking at 54.5. I think they could have one explosive half maybe and still get over. So I'm looking directly at the Washington Wizards team total here to get up and over 107.5. I think that's the right way to go.
Not a bad look there, up and over 107.5 in that one. Again, all these games starting at 8 o'clock here tonight. 5 games in total on the board, including the last one there where the Kings are taking on the Spurs in a interesting one. And I'm currently seeing Kings 1.5 favorite against the Spurs. The total has been bet down 223.5 to 221 here. Skee, coin flip here in San Antonio. Is that correct in your mind, or total? How do you approach this one?
Well, I don't think it's the greatest spot for Sacramento. They are coming off an overtime game. My bad. Did they play? I'm blanking out a little bit here. The Kings, they didn't play last night, but it is their third game in 4 nights. Oh, they did play last night. So
They
second of
did
a
play
back to
last
back.
night. Yep.
Coming off that overtime game, third and 4 nights, fourth and 6. So it's just really an advantageous spot for the Spurs in this one. You look at the Kings further, they still could rule some more people out, but you do have Malik Monk ruled out. That's a big loss in the points category for them. And they're a team that I don't think, they lack depth from previous years after the move they made to get DeRozan. So I think that could come to bite them here versus the Spurs team at home, who is getting a little bit healthier. They got Vassell back in the lineup as well. I think the Spurs are the right side here, just fading that team with the rest disadvantage and off of an overtime game. Props, I would look at Harrison Barnes. I think this will be his first time seeing his old team, team he played with the past, 5 or 6 years. His point prop, I believe, is 10.5. And he's hit this, I think, half of the games that they played so far. But if there's a game to be motivated for, it's versus your old team. So I'm looking at him. And Chris Paul, over 7.5 assists. I haven't betted every game, but every game I betted, he's won. And I just think the pick and roll with him and Wemby is really good. And he's going to keep this team. I trust him to be the general and rack up those assists is what I'm saying. So those props are just what I'm looking at. I didn't play them, but I do think the Spurs are the right side in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Skee, it's the Kings were dragged into overtime last night, right? I mean, I saw DeRozan 43 minutes, Keegan Murray 43, De'Aaron Fox 41, Sabonis played damn near 40 minutes here. I mean, call me crazy here, Rob Vino. I mean, Skee is right. The spot screams Spurs. I'm still trying to figure out how the hell they lost to Utah the other night, but such is life. They all also are, I think, 8-3 against the number, and they're past 11 at home. So third game of a 5-game homestand here. It feels like it's a good spot to back them to bounce back here, no?
I agree. I mean, the situationals just scream a lot louder than the fundamentals do here. Skee pointed towards Malik Monk being out, potential for others to rest. We will see. But the minutes, the wear and tear on the big guns for the Kings coming into face a team that really has become defensive minded. In other words, you're going to have to work to score tonight. And after you played so many minutes last night to get that win against Phoenix, which by the way was a big win for
Yeah.
Sacramento, obviously, to go on the road and beat that team. You put a lot of energy into that. Now you come back, you play the Spurs. It doesn't have the feel that they'll put the same focus and effort and energy into this game. Maybe they just can't because they played so many minutes. But even if they could, you just wonder if it's all there like it was last night for the Kings. So I think, the NBA, you get these situational spots where the lesser record team is usually can be a good spot. And I think San Antonio's in a good spot here. Defensively, like I say, really, really good. It's going to take a lot to get to the rim against Wembanyama, who's been swatting shots away like crazy all season long. So I would look towards San Antonio.
And as it means, I don't know if we have the number handy, but Skee, I mean, Sacramento pretty good early in games, but I'm seeing a trend where they have this lead going into the second half, and next thing you know, they're battling and fighting for their lives. So apparently, the second half, like Miami, who can't seem to come out of the locker room in the third quarter, Sacramento seems to have this problem again too, where they're letting teams back into games after firing pretty well in the first half. I don't know if that continues, but maybe a good live betting opportunity here as well. If Sacramento is leading this game at the break here, expect San Antonio to come out and fire away at home.
Yeah, I would agree. The longer the game goes on, it obviously favors the Spurs with that taxing game for the Kings yesterday.
Whew.
And I don't know that the ATS numbers, like I don't have those numbers for second half and first half, but situationally, I do think it sets up for a good second half for San Antonio.
I do too, and probably get actually a pretty decent number if that is the case in that one. So there you got it, guys. We got 5 games on the slate in the NBA. We'll ask these guys to point out a best bet among the 5 in a second. Do want to remind you, of course, both guys locked, loaded, ready to roll over at WagerTalk.com. And don't forget, take advantage. We say it all the time. Knowledge is power. If you guys are not familiar with the Gold Sheet or their basketball newsletter, go get it. 7 days free only today. That's right. 7 days for free delivered to you guys. Go to WT.buzz / the number 7GSBB. That's 7GSBB. You see it on the screen there, guys. That's it. It's free. 7 days. Get that delivered to you each and every day. The Gold Sheet Basketball Newsletter. Get everything you need to know for that day's card right there in one simple newsletter, guys, over at goldsheet.com. Want to thank them very much for partnering up with us here. It is only valid today. So go ahead and get signed up. All right, Skee, tell us what you got locked and loaded here today heading into this week, and give us a best bet on the way out the door here.
Yeah, if you look at my page, you will not see a package up, but I do have a bet loaded up for today. And so far, I mean, just what I have going at Wager Talk, I'll start off college basketball 2-0. College football, I believe I'm 39-27. So I'm doing pretty good with the kids, I guess, so far. Got to pick it up in NFL a little bit, but I will. So if you want to rock with me, the past 3 seasons in NBA, including this one, I got off to a slow start. I'm up close to 220 units, slightly beneath that in the association. So you get all my plays right there at wagertalk.com. For my best bet for tonight, I'll start off with, I'm going to go with the game that we just talked about, but I'll use a query for right now. And it's just a situation we talked about. An unrested road team off a single overtime road win. So just tired situation. They had to go travel. Those teams are 9-22 straight up, 7-24 against the spread. That says to go and fade those Kings tonight. And that's exactly what we talked about before. The loss of Malik Monk for tonight, I think, is huge for a team, like I said, that is already not very deep. And then the Spurs at home with that rest advantage coming off of the bad loss to Utah, I think they'll be motivated to come in here and get a win tonight. So I like the Spurs on the money line. It was about even money plus 100.
Looking for the Spurs on the money line. Amen. The spot screams it. Speaking of screaming, AOD in the house here joining us right on time. Rob Vino, he'd like you to know Pistons in 5. No idea if he actually realizes Detroit will never see a 5-game series for the next decade or not, but We're going to go with it, AOD. Pistons in 5 for sure. Vino, tell us what you got rocking and rolling at Wager Talk and give us a best bet on the way out the door here.
Monday Night Football tonight, and one from the NBA, or two from the NBA, excuse me. So you can find all my work over right there at wt.buzz/RB. We're going to actually get up tomorrow's college football, Joe. We have a lot of action this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. MAC covered, and we're down to that time of the year where, MAC teams are chasing bowl bids, which are extremely important to them. So a lot of good matchups in the MAC. We're going to have one up here within about 60 minutes, so you can get tomorrow's action today as well. I'm going to go back to the first game we talked about. I just think Oklahoma City has to play with pace now, without Chet Holmgren, without any center. And to me, the Clipper team total just seems incredibly low. 106. To ask the Clippers with the height advantage, with the rest advantage, with a bit of increased pace because of OKC, 106 just seems way too easy to me. So I like the Clippers that way. They only scored 92 against this team in the first game. So remember, there's a little bit of revenge here for the Clips in that particular game. They were held to 35 points in the second half. I don't think that happens again here, Joe. To me, 106 looked too low. So Clippers team total for the full game, up and over 106.
Up and over 106 team total in that spot. Of course, you can visit Skee over at WagerTalk.com as well as Rob Vino. Make sure you visit them at their page. It's a big week here. We got 8 games in the NBA tomorrow, including AOD Detroit taking on my Miami Heat. So you're gonna have to swing by here tomorrow. The NBA tip-off show. We'll have that game broken down for you. But there is no reason not to make it a profitable evening in the NBA, as both guys just gave you a best bet. You got a little something for everyone tonight here, too, as well, as we got a Monday Night Football game. David Thornton has signed into the chat room on the NBA tip-off show asking for an NFL pick. Okay, David. So we will be back again tomorrow. Don't forget, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Whoo! I know, spelling is hard. It's NBA, not NF. Never mind. You'll figure it out sooner or later. Big Daddy, shout out over there. Shout out to Instagram as well as TikTok. We appreciate you guys as always. Take advantage of the Gold Sheet newsletter, the basketball newsletter right now. Head over there, wt.buzz/7 GSBB, Gold Sheet Basketball. Go get that free newsletter for the next 7 days. You guys will thank me again tomorrow when we're back for another edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show. Guys, good luck here tonight. Come back and join us.